So as you all may know, Tiffany will be talking to us about managing diabetes naturally. Whether you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, I'm certain Tiffany would have some tips for you. So today's topic is actually suggested by one of our viewers, Dennis Gore, and for those that are in here today, if you have topics that you would like to talk about, that you would like to get more information, and do let us know. We can do our research. As you can see, we have our two associate professors here that can assist us with the research that we need to do. Right. So Tiffany, now we have Tiffany is on the line right now.
I'll just start with the introduction. So there are type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Most of the people that are elderly, more older than 30 years old, they would be getting type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is basically like a lifestyle disease. It is due to your many years of abuse of your body, such as sleeping late, or like some there is a strong family history of diabetes, and some don't exercise as often, so your body's insulin will not be as efficient as it used to. And when you eat something with high carbohydrates, which will turn into glucose later on, your body is not efficient enough to take down the blood glucose into storage. So the blood sugar will just circulate in your body, and then there will be some early symptoms that you can feel when you have insufficient or you have pre-diabetic. So type 1 diabetes is mostly you get it during your younger years, usually below 20 years old. And it is an autoimmune type of autoimmune disease where there is a lot of inflammation going on at your pancreas. So when there is a lot of inflammation going on, your pancreas are unable to secrete insulin, which will take up the blood glucose. So this result in no insulin in your blood, and then high blood glucose in your blood. So some early symptoms of diabetes would be sudden weight loss. The weight loss will be very, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes. You get sudden weight loss, which will be like 5 kilo per month. And even though you keep on eating, and usually those pre-diabetic, they will feel hungry than usual. They will keep on eating, and they say, wow, I think my metabolism is very good. I still can lose weight, or, like I still eat a lot, but I lose weight, not maintain weight. This is lose weight. So others will have frequent urination. Frequent urination would be like maybe 8 times and above in a day. And especially at night, they will wake up in the middle of the night to urinate once or twice at night. And even though they drink and they hydrate themselves with water, they will keep on feeling thirsty. Some you can see that there are dark patches around the skin, the neck, below, behind the neck, or some on the face, or some on certain areas, like even here on the behind your this part of your hand. Some will have skin problems. They will have inflammation. They will have a lot of marks, like they will have red and flaky skin, and then they will have a lot of scars on their hands and on the body. Some they will have eczema as well. And then pre-diabetic will get tiredness because of uncontrolled blood glucose. Some will get brain fog. They will have very bad memory. They cannot recall something. Dry eyes, blurred vision, and another thing is the constant hunger. So we go to the next page. So diabetes is one of the most prevalent disease in Malaysia. So we have to have some management skills to manage diabetes, and especially in Asian inheritance, we tend to have diabetes. So uncontrolled diabetes can lead to serious complications such as cardiovascular disease, kidney damage, nerve damage, skin infection, and eye problems. So these will progress into more serious complication if you do not manage your blood glucose level. By managing diabetes naturally, individuals can achieve stable blood glucose level, reduce the risk of complications, and enhance the quality of life. So once you have diabetes, it is fine. There are many ways to manage and control your diabetes. So we go to the next slide. Okay, so we can talk about food types. So a lot of people are thinking of cutting down rice. Should I stop eating rice? Yes, when you stop eating rice, you can see a drop in your blood glucose. But a lot of people, they can stop eating rice for like 1 month or 2-3 months. But after that, when they start introducing rice in their daily meals, they will find that the blood glucose shoot right up again. So this is not this is a cause and effect type of management. So it is not very effective in the long run. So we will usually, as a nutritionist, I will always recommend people to take brown rice rather than white rice, or mixed grain rice than white rice. Even though they have the same amount of portion, the blood glucose spike is lesser because there is fiber in it. Also, okay, bread. Bread is something that I do not usually recommend diabetic patients to eat, but if they really have to, or there is no choice, sourdough bread, there is a study that on a small group of people that are not diabetic. So once they take the same amount of white bread and they take the same amount of sourdough bread, then they monitor their blood glucose rise. So this study, it shows that when they take sourdough bread, it reduced by 11%. Actually, 11% is not really significant. So the best is do not eat bread, do not eat cakes, cookies, all these things. Later on, I can show you some hacks and some ways if you want to eat all these things, how you can eat it. There is a method to do it. So the next one is sugar. So to use brown sugar or white sugar, I often hear people say, oh, it's okay. I use everything in my baking. I use brown sugar. I don't use white sugar. Or when they take coffee, they say, I add brown sugar. Then they think it's better choice. Actually, no. The blood sugar spike, the blood sugar rise will be exactly the same, even if you take brown sugar or white sugar. This is the same with honey as well. Even though they are considered as health food, or you want to say Manuka honey, they are health food, yes. But when we are looking at, in particular, the blood sugar levels, no, they are the same. So the best is try to avoid all types of sugar as much as possible. And if you want to look at more of the ways of avoiding sugar in packaged food, you can refer to our previous health talk by Dr. Tan. I think like 4 or 5 health talks ago. So next, we talk about fruits. Okay, so are whole fruits better or blended juice without filtering out all the fiber, or cold pressed juice is the best? So if I have to choose, I will choose to the best one is whole fruit. Whole fruit, the concept is like this. So when you take whole fruit, there is fiber, you have to chew. There is fiber and you do not take it at one go. So if you take it gradually and then it breaks down gradually and there is a fiber lining across your gut. So you don't get a surge of blood sugar into your system, because sugar, fructose, glucose, they go into our system very quickly. They can start to break down in your saliva. So if you look at the left-hand side, you can see there's a graph there. So if you take 100 grams of mango, you can see that the spike is about 15. And then if you look at the one below, if you take mango 100 grams with chia pudding, chia seed, you soak it, you can soak it with milk, or you soak it with soy milk, or you can soak it with just water. Then it expands, and then when you eat it together, the spike is almost more than, I think, 40%. So here you can see that there is a significant reduction if you add your fruit with something else. And what is that something else? That something else is either fiber, that something else is either a protein or a type of oil. Later on, I can give you more examples as we go on. So in this mango and chia pudding, there is, if they put milk, so there is some content of fat inside, and also there is soluble fiber. So it makes the blood glucose absorption gradual, and you won't get the spike. So so it does. I know that smoothie is very healthy, but when it comes to diabetic or pre-diabetic, or you have a strong family history of diabetes, then you want to take smoothie, and you try to be healthy, but you have to be careful that do not just juice different types of vegetables, and then I juice carrot, and then I juice apple, I put pineapple inside. That will make your body, there will be a lot of glucose, and then you'll see a big spike in your blood. And then after that, you'll get very tired after 1 hour or so. So even though you take it in the morning, it is also very bad to take anything that is high in glucose on an empty stomach. So you have to at least coat it with something else. So you can add nut butter in your blended smoothie. You can even add coconut oil. You can add flaxseed oil in your smoothie. Next. Okay, so if you really have to take, so we are talking about this normal meal. We are talking about this normal meal first. Okay, so you can look at the left-hand side, the graph. If you take pasta first, and then you take your broccoli, you can see the spike is about, I think, 40 or 50 mg. And then you see the very steep graph over there. So this shows that when you take carbohydrates first without any fiber, your body will digest the glucose, and the glucose will be absorbed in the bloodstream very rapidly, and then which result in the very high peak of the glucose in your blood. But if you switch it up, you take broccoli first and then pasta second. This is an experiment that the person did, and then the spike is 30, which is almost half of what the pasta first. So there is also more studies coming up that say that food order, which type of food you eat first has an impact of your blood glucose spike. So another example on the right hand side, you can see the graph. If you eat rice and then tofu, then broccoli, there is a spike higher than 30. So you look at below, if you eat broccoli, you eat a type of fiber, and then secondly, you eat a type of protein, tofu. Then you eat rice with starch and carbohydrate. You see that the spike is really low, even though you are eating the same portion of food at the same time with the same person. So you can see from the graph above, after you eat for 1 hour, the spike will peak. And after that, there is a very steep drop of blood glucose. And when at the 2 hour time, so if you are having this meal at 12 p.m., by 2 p.m., you feel very, very tired, which we call, a lot of people has this kind of symptom, the afternoon slump. This is because of the blood glucose spike. Your body is very exhausted because of the blood glucose. It has to secrete a lot of insulin to get the blood glucose back into your back into your system to keep it and to store it. If you eat something which is a fiber or protein or oil-based, something like this, to line your gut first, then only you eat carbohydrates or starch, it will significantly help with your blood glucose spike. So this is very important for, it's a very important knowledge for people who wants to have their energy level and also who is looking to control their blood glucose. So the next slide, okay, so there are a few lifestyle changes you can do to help to manage blood glucose and diabetes naturally. So light movements after meals will help reduce glucose spike. Okay, so if you look at the graph on the right hand side, you can see that this person ate donut. And you can see like there's like a mountain, a very steep mountain. It surpassed the 60 milligram of the glucose in the bloodstream. And then by 2 hours, the person will feel very tired. Okay, so in opposed to when the person eat the same donut, after that, do some vacuuming in the house for 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be big movements, just vacuuming, not to just sit down and be sedentary. Then you can see that the spike is less than 50%. And then you can see that after 2 hours, it goes back to the baseline, and then you don't have a very steep graph there. So, which means the person will not feel as tired as the person who just ate donut and then sit there and do nothing. So this can apply to us, especially for office workers who will go for lunch, then after that will go back to sit in front of the desk to do work. Usually around 2 or 3 o'clock. At that time, your blood glucose will be very low, and then you will feel very tired. And at that time, your body will crave something as it goes down, it goes below the baseline, and then your body needs some fuel to be in your system so that you can think and you can perform well to do your job. So at that time, around 3 o'clock, often people will feel tired, but they'll feel like, or they feel like they want to snack. They feel like they want to eat some sweets. So you will have a whole day of having high energy, then low energy, then craving for food, and like it goes on and on. And then it's like a circle, and then it's very unhealthy. It will cause weight gain, and it will sooner or later your liver, your pancreas will be very tired. And then if you have a strong family history of diabetic, you will get diabetes later on in life. So the second one that you can do is lack of sleep or poor sleep can negatively impact insulin sensitivity and blood sugar regulation. So when we do not have enough sleep, there is a certain hormone called cortisol that will circulate in the body. When cortisol circulate in the body, our body will not do its original function to regulate our bodily function. It will do other things because your body is in a stress situation. So even though your body comes out with a lot of insulin, but the sensitivity is not there. I can give you an example of how the insulin works. So it's like a person with a key pass. So if you want to go inside the office, you have a key pass, you scan your key pass, and then the door will open, you can go in. So insulin is like your key pass. It needs to scan, and then your body it will open up for the blood glucose to go in and then store as glycogen in your body. But when your body loses the sensitivity of the insulin, it's like the key access card is spoiled. So you just keep on scanning. You have a lot of key cards. You try to scan a lot of times, but the door just doesn't open. And then the blood sugar keep on circulating in the body. And then it has to go somewhere else. So if your body keep on having circulate in the body, you will have symptoms such as itchiness in your skin. So you get more allergies, and then you will wonder why a lot of diabetes patients, they also have a lot of skin problems. And then the skin problems, the skin can't really heal. They have even if they heal, the scars will be there. It will not heal properly. It is because the liver is overworked, overstressed, and the skin needs to constantly expel a lot of toxins to help the liver to reduce the burden of the liver. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so for stress, it is similar to what lacking of sleep. So chronic stress will also elevate cortisol levels and can interfere with the sensitivity of the insulin. Stress can also induce someone to eat a lot. Some people, whenever they are stressed, they tend to go reach out to food, and they'll have emotional eating, and then that will lead to weight gain. And then also they will, when people are stressed, people tend to reach out for sugary food and sweet food. This is very important for diabetic patients to be mindful of, not to the stress and then result in emotional eating. So the next slide. Okay, so so healthy eating habits. So by now we know that if we are eating in our Asian meal, we will have veggies, we'll have protein or fats, and then we'll have starches, sugars. Starches is our rice. Okay, we can have brown rice. We can cut down on our rice, increase the protein, increase the veggies. And then, of course, the best solution is you eat your veggies first, and then you eat your fats or protein second, and then you eat your starches, which is your rice, last. But a lot of people will not will not be interested to try this type of eating habits. So I would suggest, usually I'll suggest diabetic patients to take psyllium husk before they eat. So you can have half a cup of psyllium husk, soak it in water, drink it before your meal. So that will make like a coating in your gut. So, and also it's a soluble fiber that will inhibit the glucose to go into your system so fast. So you won't have the spike. And then therefore you will have a well-managed blood glucose, even though you are eating the same thing, even though you are eating rice. So this is very important for diabetic patients. Never eat carbohydrates on an empty stomach, especially first meal of the day, or when you're hungry. So a lot of people, they like to drink Milo as the breakfast, especially diabetic patients. They will drink Milo and then they will buy something. Milo, even though it's less sugar, but it will spike up your blood glucose because there is nothing lining your stomach. And then once you have that, you remember the graph, when you have the graph of like going up, and then when it comes down, you will crave for more sugar. And then imagine you're having that as your breakfast. And then it will go on up and down until you sleep. Typically, if a person who can manage their blood sugar very well, they do not need to take more than 2 or 3 meals a day. You do not need snacks, and you do not feel, and if you eat enough, you won't feel hungry in between your lunch and dinner, and you won't feel hungry after you have dinner. There will be something, there will be some mismanage of blood sugar, or some cravings, or some dysbiosis happening in your body if you crave for something sugary right after your meal, or 1 or 2 hours of your meal. You should not be feeling that. Never eat sweets as snacks. So as a snack, if you want to eat sweets, there is studies that, people, they compare to eat 100 grams of Smarties with 50 grams of Smarties plus 50 grams of almonds. So if they find that because almonds is rich in oils, vitamin E oils, so it has some fiber as well. So you eat the nuts, 50 grams, then after that you eat 50 grams of Smarties. The blood glucose will not spike as much as you eat 100 grams of the Smarties. So you can use that to, if you want to eat something sweet as your snack. So the last point is go for a 10-minute walk after a full meal. Or as the experiment stated that, you can do housework such as mopping the floor, vacuuming after your lunch or after your dinner. You can even just stand there and watch TV after your meal. Do not sit down straight away after having a meal. Next page, please. Okay, so there are some herbal and natural remedies that are good for diabetic patient. You can incorporate that more in your diet. So cinnamon is the first one. So you can incorporate cinnamon in your oats, in your cereals, or in your smoothies, or in your porridge. The next one, fenugreek. Some people, they just take 1 teaspoon of fenugreek, just like that, and then you down it with water. Or some, they can put it in a tea bag and then just steep it in your water bottle and then just drink the fenugreek water. And then aloe vera as well. It can help with blood sugar control, but it is a bit hard. I find it a bit hard to incorporate aloe vera in our daily life. Bitter gourd. Anything that is bitter is very good for our liver. So therefore, it is very good to reduce the liver load and then to enhance the sensitivity of liver. So again, it can communicate with pancreas to come up with sufficient insulin to help to regulate the blood glucose. So anything bitter, not only bitter gourd, there are some herbs. Mugwort. There are actually many herbs or fruits that are tart and bitter. It is very good for our liver and it's very good for diabetic patient. Another one is turmeric. Yes, moringa. Moringa leaves are very good as well. A lot of studies also show that it can help to reduce blood glucose spike and it can help with diabetic patient. So lastly, I would like to really talk about Kiseki Galan, and I want to share with you with some of our customers that has used Kiseki Galan to help with their insulin levels and to help with their blood sugar levels. Kiseki Galan, I'll just talk about the ingredients first. So it has a lot of antioxidant. It has our usual, our star ingredient, which is the green papaya, the seaweed, the rice bran, seaweed as well. Other than that, we had add in for Galan, turmeric and moringa, and we find that it is very effective, or it can really show effect and result with people who are having diabetic or pre-diabetic. I will just share with you a story, not a story, but a real case study that a user, she is about 70 years old. She has had diabetes for all her life since she's 30 plus years old. So about 30 something, 40 years old, she has been taking medication, but her blood sugar level keeps on going up to almost 11 upon waking up. So she went to the doctors, and then the doctors were telling her that you have maxed out your medication and the next step is to take insulin. So because of that, they want to look for an alternative because they know that insulin they do not want to take insulin, and insulin is very expensive for them. So they take Kiseki Galan twice a day, 25 ml per time, and then they take Kiseki Galan before food. They take Kiseki Galan before food. They do not change much of the diet. The diet still is rice, vegetables, and meat. But meat, we told her to limit to only fish. So every day she just eat fish, different types of veggie, and the white rice changed to brown rice. And she consistently do that for 6 months. Actually, we told her that you should be able to see result after 3 months. But after 3 months, there is no changes at all. And she got really worried, and we told her to persevere. And then she also wants to persevere because it's either this or insulin. So she was saying, okay, I'll give it some more time. And true enough, after the 5th month, she can see a sudden drop, a gradual drop, actually not a sudden drop, but a gradual drop in her blood glucose. And then from there, she visit the doctor, and then the doctor has prescribed lesser medication for her until she reached the point that the blood glucose level is 6 point something or 7 upon waking up. So she's really happy. And then she was still taking half a dose of the medication, which she feel like it's more for her psychology, because she has been taking for more than 30 years, and she felt like she wants to take something just in case. So this is a case study that shows that if you persevere for at least 3 months, in this case 6 months, you can see a result, and you can even reduce your medication slowly while changing your diet and taking Kiseki Galan. So I think, the next page, in conclusion, so let's just be aware of our food intake order, which is take fiber, take something with oil, or take protein before you take anything carbohydrates, before you take anything sweet or something. The best is you can take psyllium husk with water, then drink it 5 or 10 minutes, and then better still if you can add in Kiseki Galan with the psyllium husk before your meal. You can really see the difference. And also, we have customers that saying that they take Kiseki before meal, then they feel like they do not have the afternoon slump. They become very awake, and their energy levels is consistent and high all the time. So second point is be aware of food portion, especially carbohydrates. So when we have hunger, we will always reach out for carbohydrates. So be aware of that, and do not eat when you are emotionally stressed or when you are emotionally sad. Include fiber, oil, and protein in all meals. Never eat carbohydrates on empty stomach. For your breakfast, if you want to eat smoothie, add in oil, flaxseed oil, coconut oil, add in chia seed. You can add in chia seed, flaxseed, or psyllium husk. Have some body movements after a full meal. You do not need to move your body for like half an hour, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Studies have shown that it can significantly drop the blood glucose. Increase ingredients that will help with diabetes, such as turmeric, cinnamon, aloe vera, bitter gourd, anything bitter. And take good care of your liver. Detox your liver, such as make sure that you go to the toilet for bowel movement every day. Drink lots of water, sweat more, so that you can help your body to excrete toxins out of your system. And other types. Maybe next time we can talk about how to take care of liver in our next talk. Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Tiffany, for the very insightful session. So we do have a question. Actually, we have a few questions here. Casey Yoke asks, is diabetes hereditary or lifestyle acquired disease?
For type 1 diabetes, it is hereditary. Type 2, yes, it is. But if you really take care of your life, if you really take care of your lifestyle and your diet, you can avoid that. You have a higher risk of having diabetes if your family has them, but doesn't mean that you are destined to have it. You can avoid it by managing your lifestyle and your diet.
Okay. Another question is because you were talking about the sequence of food to take, like, to take the fiber, something oily first, a protein first before the carbohydrate. So the question is, what happens if we eat all at once in one go, in no order?
Okay, so there is also a study on you eat a bread or just a white bread, and also you eat white bread with some protein inside. I think fried egg or something, I can't remember, cheese or something like that.
Right.
It has protein, it has fat. You can see a slight reduction, but not significant. This maybe can apply to normal people like us who do not want to have afternoon slump. For diabetic patients, it's that are looking to really reduce and to manage their blood glucose properly. I would not recommend to do that. Instead, you can, the easiest and most acceptable way to do it is psyllium husk. You take psyllium husk or you take chia seed, soak in water. After that, you drink so that you can line the soluble fiber and insoluble fiber in your gut. Then you start to eat. You can eat at that time, right? You already have fiber. You already have the sequence, so you have fiber in your gut. Then you can eat anything, like can mix everything together and you eat, and you can see a significant manage of your blood glucose level.
Okay. Tomorrow tomorrow I'll try psyllium husk and then go for nasi kandar. Is that right?
Yes, you can try that.
Okay. Thank you.
Let us know.
So the next question is also from KCO. Elderly, due to their lack of mobility and activity, are more predisposed to high residual blood glucose levels. How to mitigate this undesirable problem?
Yes. Yes, this is actually a big problem. I'm thinking from a perspective, if you are unable, you are immobile, unable to be active, you can only rely on the other one, which is your diet. So you have to put in all the effort in your diet. You have to be stricter in your diet. Cannot really compromise your diet. So this is how to manage it naturally.
Well, so, I guess the other thing is that if the person is able to stand, maybe should try to just stand for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That would also help to reduce the glucose levels as well. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely correct. Even if you just stand and do nothing, you can also reduce the blood glucose level. Not reduce, but avoid the spike of blood glucose level.
Yeah. So that in itself will help to manage the the issue that the person may have. Okay. Another question is, how deadly are durians, especially during durian season?
Actually, okay. Actually, I had done a calorie count on durians. I can't remember. It was quite shocking where the durian it has quite high even though it has some fiber in it, it has very high carbohydrate content, and the calories is very high. I remember I can't remember. It's like maybe a few durians how to call it in English. Kuihud of durians, right? It will be more than one portion of the white rice. Something like that is quite high.
Okay.
Hmm.
So best is, so again, before you eat durians, maybe you should take psyllium husk. And then after that, you can eat all the durian you want. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, this is like a sort of cheating. And also after that, just do some housework. Actually, okay. Also, if I keep thinking about, I keep giving examples of the Asian diet where you only eat rice and all that, but I forgot about the Western diet. A Western diet where you eat salad first. This is a very good habit to have also. So next time when you go for Western food, you look at the salad, eat the salad first, and then only start with the protein. Then after that, you eat your potato chips or or your bread last.
But how long before the protein? Like, if let's say we eat the vegetables, usually we will want to immediately go into the chicken chop or, the steak.
Yes.
So can we do that?
Can.
So it does have an effect as well?
Yes.
Okay.
But you don't, okay, I want to say, right, the portion of the salad in our chicken chop, all those Western food is actually too little for it to have that kind of effect also. You need to have a larger portion of salad.
Okay, understand.
So I think I've been, the best solution is to have psyllium husk. That is the best already. And also it will avoid that person, especially an obese person, to lose weight also.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, is there any more questions from the audience?
I have one question.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Dr. Tan.
Tiffany, I think you are familiar with keto diet, right?
Yes.
Is it a good advice for diabetic patient to go for keto diet? Because I heard keto diet is not 100% good. There are some side effects as well for keto diet.
When a person has pre-diabetic, when a person who has pre-diabetes, they can experiment with keto diet. But for me, professionally, I will not recommend, because honestly, I have not worked with someone or I have not tried it myself, because in a real keto diet, it is actually very hard to maintain, where you need at least 70% of fats in your diet, and then 20% is protein, and then 10% is carbohydrates. The fats, right? If a person is already having diabetes, I would imagine their cardiovascular risk is very high. And then if you eat a 70% diet of fats, and then and I'm very sure that unless the person is very health conscious and don't eat a lot, if not, their 70% of fat, right, will not be healthy. Their 70% of fat, I usually see people eat cheese, they consider fat. They eat cheese with, they eat a lot of cheese, and they eat some meat silba. Then they say, okay, it's my keto diet. So for a person who has diabetes, I feel like it's a risk. Plus, also, it's not very healthy to have that kind of diet if they don't do it properly. I have also seen a serious ketogenic practitioner. I feel like they are practitioner because they had done it for one is like more than 15 years, and then one was more than 20 years already. And I look at them, they are very healthy. They look very healthy and their skin looks very good. And even their eyes, right? They are 50 years old, but their eyes sparkle. I remember looking at them and then I can see that as if, I go to the market to buy fish. Then when I look at the fish, I will choose the healthy one, which is the fish. Their eyes sparkle like this. So I feel like if you do it the correct way, they are usually, both of them, they are very thin because 70% of fat, they eat healthy fat, and then they are underweight. But then they are very healthy, they run marathon, they do all these things. If you can do a ketogenic diet that way, then yes, you can go ahead. But usually I don't think, and even for me, I still feel like it's a lot of burden and a lot of sacrifices. Like you cannot eat a lot of things. And usually majority of the people, they cannot do a very good ketogenic diet. So I will not recommend it. For pre-diabetic, I have heard someone, like a friend, that says that, we sort of reverse our pre-diabetic condition with ketogenic diet. But I still will not recommend it. But you can experiment with yourself if you're healthy enough.
Yeah, I think the main thing is it's not just simply taking any type of fat. The type of fat that we are taking must be the correct type or the healthy type. If we simply go and take all those like silbak, then it's not. It might. I mean, we might have very low carbohydrate in our diet, but end up we are getting other problem.
And also it loads our liver as well. We need liver to excrete enzyme to break down oil as well.
So I guess we should do everything in moderation, and not necessarily have to go for all these fat diets. To me, it's all fat diets. What's important is, I guess, physical activity. Control your food portioning, and if possible, just avoid sugars at all times. So, okay. So I guess that's all the time that we have. In fact, we have taken more than 1 hour. Again, we would like to apologize for the slight technical issues that we had this earlier on. In our next session, which is on 19th of July, we will have Dr. Tan Tuan Chew, who will be talking to us about artificial sweeteners, right? So this is because I brought up this topic is because WHO came out with a statement that they are looking into banning aspartame as an artificial flavoring in the commercial products in the market. So yeah, I guess that is important for all of you. So for those that are interested, mark your calendars. On 19th of July, Dr. Tan will be talking to us about all these artificial sweeteners. So that's all. Dr. Lim, do you have any questions for Tiffany?
Actually, I have one.
Okay.
But just a quick one.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, Tiffany, you mentioned about the brown rice is actually better than white rice. So how about basmati rice?
Basmati rice is it has lesser starch, and no lah. I still prefer brown rice. It has higher fiber content, which will help more with diabetic patient.
Okay, I need to buy brown rice tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So if that's all the question that we have, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you for your patience. Also, if you haven't liked our page, haven't subscribed our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do. Share this video, share our videos to your friends, family. It will help us a lot. And give us the energy to go to keep on doing this for all of you. So I hope today's session has been an eye opener, and also have given you all the knowledge to either avoid diabetes or to manage your current diabetic journey naturally. So thank you very much, Tiffany. Thank you, Dr. Lim, Dr. Tan. Thank you, all the audience. Take care. Good night, and see you on the 19th.